Are you trying to learn Spanish on your own? Because learning any language without instruction or enrolling in a class can be pretty daunting. Aside from that, you might find yourself unmotivated after a while because you don't know how to create a well-rounded plan for getting to where you want to be. I'm very much a DIY person and have tried language learning on my own. So today I thought I'd share with you what has worked for me when learning a new language. These tips will keep you motivated, engaged, and you'll get a confidence boost as you notice your Spanish improving every day. Let's dive into some practical tips to help you learn Spanish independently. What I feel really helps me when I decide to learn a new language is that I start talking to myself in that language. This helps me to start thinking in the new language, and this is how I do it. Every day when I'm home and doing any sort of activity, I will speak the activity out loud, and when I don't know a word or phrase, I will quickly translate it on my phone. For example, let's say I'm making myself a sandwich. This is what I would say. Me voy a hacer un sándwich delicioso, tal como me merezco. Primero voy a tostar el pan. Me gusta que quede un poquito quemado el pan. Ya sonó la tostadora. Ahora voy a agregar el relleno. Colocaré una rebanada de pan sobre la tabla de cortar. Encima del pan pondré jamón, queso, lechuga y tomate. Perfecto. Para condimento me gustaría un poco de mostaza Dijon. ¡Qué rico! Para cerrar el sándwich pondré la otra rebanada de pan encima. Y por último, me gusta cortar el sándwich por la mitad para servir. Ahora sí puedo sentarme a disfrutar mi sándwich. I know that in the beginning there may be a lot of words you don't know, and you'll feel like you have to look up every single word. In this case, just speak in English and use as many words in Spanish that you do know, and look up the words that you know are going to be very useful or that you'll have to repeat a lot in your activity. Another fun thing that you can do is place sticky notes around your home with the name of everything in Spanish. That way, when you're about to open your kitchen cabinet, you'll always see the sticky note that says gabinete. This is a good way to practice and learn vocabulary. A way to practice speaking is by practicing in real-life situations. And how you can do this without having to leave your country is you look for a Latin or a Spanish restaurant or supermarket in your area, and you go there instead of going to your usual go-to spot. And of course, make sure to speak Spanish when you're there. To give yourself a little break from learning solo, you can also find a language exchange partner or a tutor that can correct you and give you some insights. A good partner will always boost your learning exponentially. You can find a tutor that you click well with on Spanish55.com. You can have your sessions be as little or as often as you want. To see if this is a good addition to your Spanish practice, you can book a free trial lesson on the website. The link will also be in the description for you. And back to things you can do on your own. You can add Spanish podcasts, YouTube videos, and Spanish music to your playlists. Even if sometimes you just have them on in the background, this easy practice will better your listening comprehension. While listening, you can also repeat the words as you hear them in Spanish. And this will improve your pronunciation. Reading Spanish out loud is an amazing way to ingrain the language. It's also another way to improve your pronunciation, and you'll also grasp grammar and new vocabulary. You can read news articles, novels, or, my favorite, children's books. Children's books with pictures are even better if you're a beginner. Maybe you can reread some of your favorite books from when you were a kid. This would actually be the best because you'll enjoy yourself more, plus you'll understand the story easier. Do you like taking quizzes online? Because I think that we all know what Hogwarts house we're in now. I'm a Ravenclaw. Could you have guessed? As a Ravenclaw, I like to Google online interactive quizzes in my new target language. You can find vocabulary, grammar, and even general Spanish language quizzes online for free. You can also leverage technology by using apps. We all know about Duolingo, but there are other learning apps such as Memrise and Babbel, which will offer structured lessons and interactive exercises. You can create flashcards by hand, or you can use an app and use spaced repetition techniques in order to memorize a new word. There's also language exchange apps, so you can connect to native speakers on apps like Tandem or HelloTalk to practice speaking and writing. And if you want more in-depth information on what apps you can use, check out Sean's video on best apps to learn Spanish in 2024. It's catered to both iOS and Android. Besides apps, there are websites like Spanish Dict and Word Reference, which provide dictionaries, grammar explanations, and language exercises. Guess what the best and easiest way to learning a new language is? It's making mistakes. Making mistakes is evidence that you are practicing, and it clues you into learning opportunities. You'll start to notice patterns in your mistakes, leading you to investigate and correct them. It's also normal to keep making the same mistakes. Don't let that discourage you, because eventually you're going to outgrow them. And that's the end of my tips on how you can make it easier to learn Spanish on your own. Once you've found your groove with these different resources, you can create a consistent learning routine. As with any new skill, consistency and practice is key. So incorporate these tips into your daily routine and you'll be well on your way to mastering the language. Buena suerte, nos vemos en el próximo video. If you want more in-depth information on what apps to use, check out at Spanish Podcast. Podcast? What is a podcast?